There's a lot of animal lovers in the world, and even if people love animals, they still don't treat them equally to human beings. And equal treatment doesn't have to mean equal expectation, because we still recognize children as people and we protect them from kidnapping, harm, violence, the same way that we try to with pets. Now, the rules are a lot more loose. You couldn't get away with giving your kid a doghouse and letting them sleep in the yard, but we do with our pets for some reason. But we still recognize them as being worth protecting, even to some extent of comfort. And yet, we talk about them in a very objectifying way. Unless you know the name of an animal, or the gender of an animal, or they're someone's pet, people will say, look at it go. Look at it cross the road or run through the woods. Or even watching cute dog videos on Instagram, a lot of us say, it's so cute. Or animal rescue videos, it was drowning and we saved it. We don't give the decency to even say he or she. And if you don't know the animal's gender, we have a wonderful neutral pronoun, they. We used to do this with black people in America, and the Egyptians did it with other races, and all throughout history, at any point in time, one culture has oppressed another because they looked different, and they decided they must be fundamentally less, fundamentally stupider, fundamentally less capable. And it's absolutely embarrassing to look at what was needed to prove the sameness of blacks in America, where we needed brain scans, where we needed psychologists and scientists to comment and say, we can look deep inside the chemistry of one human and the next and decide that they're the same. Because our hearts weren't big enough to just say, I see you living, I see you loving, and that's enough. I wish that could be enough for animals. When people name animals, we cut them short. We give them silly names, goofy names. And we do this with our kids, our human kids, you know. Samantha becomes Sammy or Jonathan Johnny, because there's almost this reduced, cuter, softer personhood that we see in them, where it's too formal to think of Sammy as Samantha when she's this little bumbling child. And we do the same with animals. We reduce them. I think, in a way, it is because they're cute, but the side effect is that it makes dehumanizing them easier to stomach, easier to swallow. When we say it reinforces a narrative that animals aren't alive. They're sort of like spun-up clocks that tick, 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 tick until the coil runs out. But they're not like that at all, because they feel the full array of emotions that we do. And their push to survive isn't just this military survival that you see in shows like National Geographic or the History Channel. Because animals' drive to survive has to come from wanting to play with their loved one another day, wanting to raise more young, wanting to look forward to life experiences. So, if you love animals, or perhaps you see value in these points, it's worth thinking of them a bit more human, because in essence we're all alive, we're all sentient, and all the animals are just like we are. They're just like humans on the inside, even if they look different, even if we don't understand their lives. We don't expect the same responsibilities of a child. They don't have to go out and work a job, nor do we expect that of of people with varying degrees of ability, because the world's not meant for them. It's not built to where they can independently exist. And we can recognize that limitation in animals while still giving them decency and personhood. And we can open our circle of compassion to include that, to humanize them a bit, and to give them that decency. We don't leave the autistic and the Down syndrome out to live on the streets, nor do we put them in cages. We have expectations of decency, even if they have to live with caretakers to exist in our society. We can do the same for animals, and not view them as pets, but family members, with names and genders, and not call them it. If it's hard to feel empathic, picturing them as these cute little things, humanize them, and tell yourself that whatever pet or animal you're looking at is human on the inside. At the very least, if nothing else, when you speak of them, don't say it.